So for more on what this means for you, let's bring in Chief Economist at Redfin, Daryl Fairweather, also who wrote this article. Daryl, great to see you. As you know, right now, so many Americans say they are feeling the pinch when it comes to the economy. That also means when it comes to home ownership. What is bringing about this great American reset?
The housing market has been in a really tough spot since 2022. But what we're seeing now is that mortgage rates are coming down, and that means that buyers' budgets can go farther because their monthly mortgage payments will be lower. And if you were looking for a home in spring 2025 and looking again in spring 2026, you'll definitely feel that the housing market has improved. There are more homes for sale, that prices have only gone up a touch, and your incomes have probably gone up faster than home prices. So that's all good news, although it's going to be an incremental improvement.
Guys, I don't know about the income part. That is something you need to double check because I see more layoffs and budget cuts from big companies than I don't see. I don't see. I don't know. I don't know if income going high reflects reality for most people, but there might be some data I'm not aware of. Let's see. Let's listen to what they're gonna say.
Beginning of a change that we think will continue for the next several years.
All right, so what are you looking at as far as timeline, when this starts next year? And then, it's always hot and cold. Where do you believe the housing market will likely heat up? And then where do you think it could potentially cool down?
The markets that are going to heat up the most are markets that have historically been overlooked, like the Great Lakes region or upstate New York. That's where home prices are still low enough that you can find great deals, but there really aren't that many homes for.
So basically, guys, the Midwest markets is really to look into. I think those markets have been overlooked for a while anyway. A lot of people focus too much on where the herd is going, right? Everybody talk about these big markets, but people are overlooking those small markets. Like in the Midwest, is definitely something as an investor you gotta pay close attention to. Those markets are very interesting currently, and especially if you're gonna target like distressed homeowners, like pre-foreclosures. Like foreclosures are going up, so if you learn, pre-foreclosures acquisitions where you find these homeowners off market before the properties actually goes into auction, you can get great deals that way. That's one of our niche. We market to those homeowners to find properties that we can knock down and then build luxury specs homes on it in Texas, to be very specific. But you can do those in any market. They're a fantastic niche if you learn how to find them, obviously negotiate with them, and access capital so you can close on this property. So don't overlook building your credit up. Don't overlook accessing business capital so you have enough capital to secure these properties and take them down if you find these distressed homeowners and negotiate with them.
For sale there because there wasn't a building boom during the pandemic the way that there was in the South. In the South, there were lots of built in Texas and Florida, really all across the Sun Belt. And now there's more supply than there are buyers interested. So in the Sun Belt, that's where buyers will find the best deals. And that's where prices are falling the most and will continue to fall in 2026.
All right, so the median age for a first-time home buyer right now is 40 years old. That's an all-time high. Redfin, has predicted that household makeup is going to shift with more.
Listen to what they just said. The average age of the first-time home buyer in 2025 and 2026, which is the coming year, is 40 years old. 40. That is crazy. That is something I need to go online and verify. That is crazy, but I wouldn't be surprised because honestly, guys, people are struggling. Most people actually gave up when it comes to on hope to buy a home. It's barely affordable. The mortgages, the interest rates doesn't make sense. Like I said again, it's not just about the mortgages itself. Also, it's about the economy itself. People have been laid off left and right. People are barely making ends meet. Prices of goods keep going up: eggs, bread, you name it, gas, and so I'm not even surprised that now, in order for you to be able to afford to buy a home, you have to be 40 years old. But that is crazy, guys. That is scary, actually. So that is some data I gotta dig into because I think the average age was, somewhere around like 28, 30 years old. If that went up to 40, we're living in scary times.
Gen Z and millennials living with their parents for longer, because of what costs are dictating. What obstacles do you see when it comes to housing affordability for first-time home buyers, for these younger families?
Yes, baby boomers have been the biggest winners of the housing market over the last 10 years. But moving forward, those baby boomers are going to be retiring, they're going to be downsizing, and younger generations are going to find more opportunities. And when younger generations team up with older generations, like have multi-generational living, grandparents living with parents, living with kids, they're going to find a lot of success. We're seeing more intergenerational living housing units being developed, like additional dwelling units, duplexes, triplexes. So we think that's going to be an ongoing trend of Gen Z kind of figuring out how they can get into the housing market. And when they have some help or support from their parents, they're going to find even more success.
All right, I know, Daryl, that there are people watching this who are just saying, a house right now is just not.
I mean, guys, that also makes sense, right? So when it comes to real estate, if you learn the acquisition scale of marketing to homeowners, especially off market, one of the best lists you can pull from PropStream, PropWire, you name it. There's so many different applications you can use. Is what we call the senior list. The senior list is the lists of homeowners that are on the older side. Maybe they're retiring. Some of them actually already passed away, so these properties are in probate. But if you market to these elderly owners, you can even go like on sites like truepeoplesearch.com, and you can see the age of the owner of these homes. And oftentimes they're looking to downsize. That is very accurate. So that's one of the lists we actually love going after, because most of these elderly homeowners that have owned these properties for 30 plus years, typically they haven't done any renovations, so the properties are in distress. Number two, they can't go up and down the stairs anymore, so they're looking to downside, move out of state, maybe move from Maryland to Florida, move from Texas to Florida, whatever. Like they're looking to move out of the home they're living in, or maybe they're going to a senior living space, right? So those are that's also a great niche list to market if you're going to learn in 2026 how to do what we call acquisitions. This is when you call homeowners, you yourself, you negotiate with them, you put these properties under contract, and then you decide, are you going to do double closing and sell these properties off in the back end if you're just looking to stack up profits, or are you going to take this down yourself, flip them, or keep them as buy and holds, which you can do either or if you are very smart and you work on your credit again. And go and access business capital, so you have the capital to take these properties down and start building relationships with hard money lenders as well, because you're going to need these people when it comes to like let's say the renovation costs, the construction costs, or just real estate capital in general. But when it comes to business capital, you don't go through hard money lenders. All you need is good credit, and then you need what we call age shelf corps. These are LLCs that comes with age, and you can go to lenders and access even 0% loans from 6, 12 to 18 months that you can deploy into these kind of deals.
In the card, so for people who can't afford to buy a home and will still be renting, kind of what's the outlook there?
In 2025, rents were pretty flat, which was a big relief for renters. If they couldn't find a home to buy, they could at least find a home to rent that wasn't going to be excessively expensive. But in 2026, because so many people did choose to rent and are continuing to rent, we think that prices are going to heat up in the rental market, that rents will increase about 2 to 3.
Rent is going up. When I say rent is going up, like rent is going up. Okay, so I mean, that's bad news for tenants, but very good news for landlords. So it all is all a matter of perspective. Like for me, I look at it like I'm renting. I'm literally like, I even hate nowadays owning a single family home just because of all the headaches and the maintenance that comes with it. I'm just too busy for it. I don't want to be cutting a freaking lawn. I'm busy, but I do love real estate and owning, buy and hold small multifamily real estate, right? So for me, like right now, the tenants that are paying me is good news for me, but for them, especially I have one of them right now. He just lost his. He used to own like a car dealership business the first time that he moved into my property, and he just lost that business because obviously cars are not selling as much as they used to. and he's in absolute distress. Like I have, my team. I do own a business funding company and then a credit repair company, and he's literally going through credit repair through my team right now to help him get back on his feet, access business funding so he can try to buy this home from me. I'm gonna do something called auto finance for him, but listen, the rents are racking up. Like especially if you live in blue states like New York, like oh my goodness, like it's unbelievable.
3%, which unfortunately means that those renters are going to have less money left over to spend on other necessities. People who have been on the brink of thinking about buying a home are going to be more motivated to buy a home when they get those lease renewals that show that their rents are increasing.
All right, so we know that the Trump administration right now is really focusing in on affordability, as are Democrats. But are there other things you think that the Trump administration could be doing to kind of get the housing market moving at an even faster pace?
Well, we're seeing more bills proposed in Congress, like the Road to Housing bill. That is a bipartisan effort. What the administration could do on its own is to use the authority of HUD to really pressure local governments to densify, to increase the supply of housing, especially where people most want to live. That's what personally I would like to see, is more leadership from HUD. I know we've seen a lot of thoughts from the FHA, from Bill Pulte, but I think HUD is really where there can be more meaningful impact.
Chief Economist at Redfin, Daryl Fairweather, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below.
There you have it, guys. Listen, in 2026, if you don't find a way to create some sort of extra stream of income on the side, whether that you start a credit repair business, you start a lawn care business, a plumbing business, you start a business funding, whatever, like e-commerce, you name it, man, you better start making more income than just from your 9 to 5, because times are not about to get any easier for most people. So if you're still counting on the regular 9 to 5, 2026 is not going to be fun for you, especially if you're a tenant, because this thing, like rent, is not about to go down anytime soon, nor is prices of good is about to go down anytime soon. So a lot of the data that they spoke about here, I still got to go online and check it, especially if the first-time home buyer's age, the average age, went up to 40 years. Oh my goodness. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts below. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.